the magnetic flux emitted from the North Pole and it enter into the South Pole. Okay, so uh, the magnetic field path, the field of the magnetic path which coming out from the North Pole and entering into the South Pole. Okay, surrounding of this magnetic uh, 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 field, surrounding of this magnetic flux line, that create a magnetic field. That create a magnetic field. Okay. Now, if we generate a electromagnet, we have studied in class 12. Okay, if we uh, use a wire, okay, and the wires is surrounding with a ferromagnetic material, and we pass the current through this wire, then this ferromagnetic material is converted to a magnet, right? And this magnet is called electromagnet. And this electromagnet itself is a created are two poles. One is North Pole and another is South Pole. And when this electromagnet is created, okay, the surrounding of this electromagnet, they are created a magnetic field. This magnetic field basically consists of the magnetic flux line, okay, which is come out from the North Pole and entering into the South Pole, right? So that is the basic concept of the magnetostatic field. Okay, why it is called static? Because at the magnetic field is not changed with respect to time. If it is a dynamic, that is expression is different, right? So the each of the magnet, it may be a normal magnet or maybe a electromagnet. The surrounding of this magnet, they are create a flux line. The uh, 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 numbers of flux line coming out from the North Pole and entering into the South Pole. So in the vicinity of the electromagnet, they are create a magnetic field, right? Then that magnetic field basically is called the magnetic field intensity. So we have to calculate the magnetic field intensity. What do you mean by the magnetic field intensity? The strength of this magnetic field, which is created surrounding the electromagnet or the normal magnet. Okay, that are called the magnetic field intensity. Okay, so to determine the magnetic field intensity, okay, Biot-Savart law is based on this magnetic field intensity, right? Okay, so what is the statements of the Biot-Savart law? The statements of the Biot-Savart law states that the magnetic field intensity, that is denoted by H or DH, produced at a point in that field is produced by a differential current IDL. Because if there are no current flow through this material, there are no electromagnetic field produced. So the differential current that produces the magnetic field, that is represented by IDL, right? IDL is the differential length according to the path, and I is the value or amount of the current, right? Now, if we close look at this figure, okay, that is the differential length and this is the path of the current. This is the path of the current, right? Okay, and this di is represent the differential length. Okay, and from this differential length, r distance, there is a magnetic poles are there. And one thing remember, the magnetic poles are two different types. The pictorial representations of these magnetic poles are this and this. If uh, uh, in a circle there is a teeny points is there, it means that the magnetic edge comes from the pole. If there is a cross is there, it is called the field or flux or I coming into the magnetic pole, right? Okay, so if we consider this figure, okay, this is a path. According to this part, there is a current flow that is called I, and this is the differential length dl. Right now, from this path dl, with a distance of capital R, there is a poles, there is a points is there, that P. Right? Okay. Now we have to calculate the magnetic field intensity of that point P due to a differential current IDL, which is R distance away from the pole, right? Okay. Now, according to Biot-Savart law, the magnetic field intensity DH produced at a point P, as shown in figure, by the differential current IDL, which is proportional to the product of the differential current IDL with sine of the angle alpha between the elements and the line joining to the P, right? So, if this is, it is that point, there is a P is point is there. So, this line is joined the differential element DL and the point P. So, the angle alpha is there. So, alpha is there. So, according to Biot-Savart law, the field intensity, magnetic field intensity is proportional to the product of the differential current, okay, IDL with a sine angle alpha between the elements and the line joining of the field. So we can write DH is proportional to IDL sine alpha. Okay, we can write DH is proportional to IDL sine alpha, and this magnetic field intensity also proportional to the inversely proportional to the square of the distance between R between the P and the element. So, according to Biot-Savart law, we can say that DH is proportional to IDL sine alpha, and DH is proportional to 1 by R square. R is the distance between the point P and the element. So, if we combine these two equations, so we get DH is proportional to IDL sine alpha divided by R square, right? Okay, and that is denoted by the equation number 191. Okay, now if we convert this proportionality to an equal equation, then one constant must be multiplied with this equation. So DH is denoted as K into I dl sine alpha into R square, right? So this is equation number 192. So according to the Weierstrass law, the magnetic field intensity dH is defined as Ki dl sine alpha by R square. Now where K is called the constant of the proportionality. In SI unit, the value of K is approximately 1 by 4 pi. Right? Now, so this equation 192 becomes again modified to the next equation, that is dH is equals to I dl sine alpha by 4 pi R square. I dl sine alpha by 4 pi R square. Right? And this is equation number 193. Now, if this 193 equation is expressed in vector form, right, in vector form, so sine alpha is represented in cross product, right? Okay, so it will be dH is equals to I dl. The vector form of the Weierstrass law is expressed as I dl into AR divided by 4 pi R square. AR is the direction of this magnetic field intensity. Now we know that AR is the unit vector. So unit vector is equals to, also know that the vector divided by this magnitude, right? So we can write this AR is equals to capital R by mod R, right? So this equation can be converted to, that is dH is equals to I dl into R divided by 4 pi into R, right? So equation number 194 that represents the vector form of the Weierstrass law, right? Now we have to denote the direction of dH, right? The direction of dH is determined by right hand thumb rule of Faraday. Okay, and it states that the right hand rule with right hand thumb is pointing to the direction of the current. Then the right hand finger circulating the wire is the direction of the dH. That means that if we draw in this format. So if that is the direction of the current, then the direction of the magnetic field in this circular region, if that is the direction of the current, it is the circular regions of the magnetic field. And one thing remember, that dH, the direction of the magnetic field intensity, is always in the phi direction, right? Okay, so that is the basic concept of this magnetic field intensity, which is denoted by the Weierstrass law. Now this equation 194 basically represents for a single magnetic point dH. But if we implement this Weierstrass law by line charge or surface charge or line current or surface current or volume current, then this will be modified to the equation. Then this equation, if this equation is integrated with respect to a specific region for line, for surface or for volume, then the Weierstrass law represent in distributed current, that is denoted by capital H is equals to integration of L. L means line current. Okay, capital H integration of L I dl AR divided by 4 pi R square. So equation number 195 that represents the line current, magnetic field intensity produced by a line current.
So it is cross or into.
Okay, which one? Cross,
The
cross, cross.
ideal.
Okay,
It's a cross product, right?
cross product. Okay, right.
Okay.
Now, similarly, if a surface current, it's a surface current, then H is equals to integration of S K ds. ds is the differential surface area. Okay, differential surface area. If it is a Cartesian coordinate, it will be dx into dy or the dy into dz, right? If it's a spherical coordinates, and dr into d theta or dr into d phi, so on, right? And the uh, uh, third equation, that is 197, that represents for the volume current. Okay, and the magnetic field intensity H is represent integration volume integral of J dV cross AR 4 pi r square, and this J is represent the current density. Okay, and dV is the differential volume. Okay, now we explain uh, one example or implementation of one example of this equation number 195. Right? This, if you see this figure, okay, see this figure, we have to calculate the magnetic field intensity H, okay, with respect to this dl that is situated in the z direction in the point P, right? So, if you draw this figure, this the current is flow through this direction z, right? Okay. Now, from this dl, at from r distance, capital R distance, there is a point P, right? Now, there is a finite length conductor, that is AB. AB is the finite length of conductor. A is the starting point of the current, and B is the ending point of the current of the conductor. A is the starting point of the current of the conductor, and B is the ending point of the current of the conductor. Right? Okay. Now, if we can determine the magnetic field due to a straight current carrying filamentary conductor that is represented by a finite length of AB as shown in figure, okay, then we assume that the current is flow through this conductor according to the z direction, right? And upper end of the conductor is denoted by B, and lower end of the conductor is denoted by A, right? Now, if we draw a straight line from B to P and A to P, that represents the subtrahend angle of B and A. Okay, so alpha 2 represent the angle of B, and alpha 1 represent the angle of A. Right? Now, if we consider the contribution of dH, that means the how many amounts of magnetic field intensity generated due to this differential current, which at the point P, that is denoted by the according to Weis-Severt law, that is dH is equals to I dl r by 4 pi r square, and the vector locations of the dl is equals to 0, 0, z. That means value of x is equal to 0, value of y is equal to 0 and value of z is equal to j. Right? Now, the differential current, that is that the direction of this differential current we can express in the uh, uh, line according to the line integral. Okay, that is di is equal to dz into aj, because direction of this current is equal to z direction. So unit vector is az and the differential current that is represented in z direction, that is dz. Right? Now we express the value of r, this r. Right? So this r vector we can represent, okay, by rho arrow minus z aj. Right? So if we travel this from this point to this point, first we have to travel in this direction according to this line. So according to line integral, we can denote as, that is the magnitude from this dl point to o point is equal to z with the unit direction of minus az. Right? And then from o point to p point, the value of magnitude is rho with a direction of arrow. That's why this r vector is represented as rho into arrow minus z into az. Right? Now, if we take the cross product of these two values, okay, we can expression di cos I is equal to rho dz a phi, because we know that arrow and az is the unit vector of according to rho direction and according to z direction, and it considered is a cylindrical in nature, and according to the cross product of the unit vector, we know that if the cross product of the two unit vector is equal to the third one, so the cross product of az and arrow, that is equal to a phi. Right? So di cross r is equal to rho dz a phi. That is equation number 196. Right? Now, this if we integrate this equation 196 and replacing the value of dl cross r, right? So that is represented by dl cross r is replacing by rho dz a phi. Right? Okay, so this equation become, after integrating, that is h is equals to integration of I rho dz divided by 4 pi rho square plus j square to the power 3 by 2, because this is rho and this is z, this is rho and this is z. So r is equals to root under rho square plus z square. Right? So this will be represented as rho square plus z square to the power 3 by 2, because root over of rho square plus z square is equal to rho square plus z square to the power half. That's why this RQ is replacing by the rho square plus z square to the power 3 by 2 into a phi. Right? So this equation is represented by equation number 197. Now we replace this z or dz in respect of phi, because this angle is very important, because this angle represents that how much that is the what is the it is a finite value or infinite value of the conductor. If AB's value is finite, then the angle of alpha 1 and alpha 2 are different. And if AB's value, this conductor value is infinite, then the value is different. So we convert this value of dz and z, dz into z into in term of alpha. Right? Now, according to geometrical concept, now if we take this triangle, this DL, O and P, if we take this triangle DLO and P, okay, so DLO and P, so this is alpha angle, right, and this is the right angle. Okay, so angle DLOP is the right angle and angle PDLO is the alpha angle, right? Now, if we take this geometry, this triangle, that means ODL and OP and DL, then cot alpha how much? Cot alpha is equal to Z, cot alpha is equal to Z by rho, cot alpha is equal to Z by rho, because cot alpha is equals to base by perpendicular. Here base is equals to Z and perpendicular is equal to rho. So cot alpha is equal to Z by rho. Then we can write Z is equals to rho cot alpha. Right? Now, if we take differentiate with respect to alpha, then dz by d alpha is represented as dz by d alpha. It can represent as minus rho cosec square alpha, right? So dz is equals to minus rho cosec square alpha d alpha, right? Now we put the value of dz as well as rho square plus z square in terms of alpha. Now, if we take rho square plus z square, so z square is equals to rho square cot square alpha. Now, from this equation, rho square plus rho square cot square alpha, if you take rho square is equal to common, then 1 plus cot square alpha, then 1 plus cos square alpha is equal to cosec square alpha, right? And whose power is equals to 3 by 2. Then this 3 by 2 which cosec square alpha is cut out, right? Power is cut out, then it will be the lower portion, that means denominator portion, that means rho square plus z square to the power 3 by 2, that is replaced by cosec square alpha, that is cosec square alpha, and this alpha square is represented by alpha cube. So the numerator portion of this equation is represented by rho square cosec square alpha divided by rho cube cosec cube alpha into a5, right? Okay, so this is cancel out, that is rho square and rho cube is cancel out. Then one rho is exist in the denominator portion, and that is 1 by cosec square alpha d alpha, right? So 1 by cosec square alpha d alpha, that is equals to integration over alpha 1 to alpha 2 sine alpha d alpha. 1 by cosec square alpha is equals to sine alpha. So this equation becomes, that is minus of I by 4 pi, minus of I by 4 pi rho, here is a rho is there, okay, minus I by 4 pi rho alpha 1 to alpha 2 sine square alpha d alpha a5. Now if we put the upper value and lower value of this equation, then we get the H is equals to, that means H is the total magnetic field intensity, that is equals to I by 4 pi rho, cos alpha 2 minus cos alpha 1 a5. So this equation 198, that represent the magnetic field intensity due to a straight current carrying filamentary conductor with a finite length of AB, situated in Z direction, okay, at the point of P, which is r distance away from dl. So that is the equation for the magnetic field intensity, right? Okay. Now again, this expression magnetic 198, the expression is generally applicable for straight filamentary conductor with a finite length, right? With a finite length, and uh, the unit vector of this magnetic field intensity that always expressed in phi direction. That means the concentric circular path with the current direction. Concentric circular path with the current direction. That means that if the current is flow through the center of the circle, then the direction of this magnetic field intensity according to the circumference of the circle. Right? Now, this expression 198, this expression can be modified to special cases. Right? Two special cases. The first special case is that when the conductor is semi-infinite, okay, semi-infinite with respect to a point P, right? With respect to a point P. If the conductor is semi-infinite with respect to a point P, then a point, that means the starting point of the current, a point is now at origin, O point. That means if a point is come at to the origin O point. So the value of alpha is equal to right angle 90 degree, right? And the B point is come at 0, alpha, infinity, 0, infinity. Now, if the value of 0, infinity, then the alpha 2 angle is approximately 0 degree. Not exact, but approximately 0 degree. So, this is for semi-infinite case. Semi-infinite. Okay. For the special case, if the conductor is semi-infinite, okay, then angle of alpha 1 is equal to 90 degree and angle of alpha 2 is equal to 0 degree. Because here the A point is come to that point, O point, so that is right angle, right? And this B point is far away from the Z axis, where the value of the Z is equal to infinite. So that angle is approximately a straight line, this is equal to 0 degree. Right? Now, if in that situation alpha 1 is equal to 90 degree and alpha 2 is equal to 0 degree, then if you put the value of alpha 1 and alpha 2 in this equation 198, then H is equals to I by 4 pi rho alpha 2 is equals to 0 degree. That means cos alpha 2 is equals to cos 0 degree. Cos 0 degree value is 1, and alpha 1, that is 90 degree, cos 90's value is equal to 0. So the expression of 198 that modified to special case number 1 when the conductor is semi-infinite, that is become H is equals to I by 4 pi rho A phi, because this part is 0 and this part is 1, right? And that is the equation 198. So 198 that represents the conductor, the magnetic field intensity due to a semi-infinite conductor, right? Okay. Now another special case occurs, that is if the conductor AB, that is a infinite in length, now big, very big value, infinite in length. Okay, so if the conductor, this AB is the infinite in length, that means value of B whose coordinate is 0, infinity, and value of A whose coordinate is 0, 0, minus infinity. The infinite length of conductor. Okay, so in that situation, when infinite length of conductor, okay, the A point whose vector location is 0, 0, minus infinity, and B point whose value is vector location is 0, 0, infinity. In that situation, okay, if this coordinator, this conductor is infinite, B is come to the upper portion and A is come to the lower portion, but infinite range, then in that situation the angle alpha 1 become 180 degree and alpha 2 90 degree. Alpha 2 is equal to 0 degree, right? Okay, so in that situation, if again we place the alpha 2 and alpha 1 in this main equation, okay, so H is equals to 4 pi rho alpha cos alpha 2, that means cos pi, cos alpha 2, cos pi, or cos 180, that means cos pi. Okay, cos alpha 1 is equals to 180 degree, alpha 2 is equals to 0 degree. So cos 0, that is 1, and cos 180, that is cos pi, that is minus 1. So in this equation, 1 minus of minus 1, that is 2. So this equation become 2I by 4 pi rho when the length of the conductor is infinite. The length of the conductor is infinite. So in that situation, H is equals to 2I by 4 pi rho. Then 2 and 4 is cancelled out. So the equation become H is equals to I by 2 pi rho A phi. So this equation number 200 that represent the equation number 200 that represent the magnetic field intensity for a infinite length of the conductor which is situated in the z direction, okay, which is situated in the z direction to a point with respect to a point P, right? Okay, this expression is very important. Expression ta tomoder ase. Got my points? Clear too? Now, according to this implementation of Weissenberg law, we can solve some numerical problem. Okay. Now, I explain one of the numerical problem regarding this Weissenberg law. Okay. Here, there is a triangular loop. Okay. Just you see this figure A that's conducting a triangular loop. This is a triangular loop, and this loop, there is a current flow through this triangular loop, and the value of the current is equal to 10 ampere, right? The value of the current of this loop is equal to 10 ampere. Okay. Now, the conducting loop has three different sides. This is side number 1, this is side number 2, and this is side number 3. So through this loop, the current 10 ampere flow through this loop, right? Okay. Now the starting point of the loop starts from this O point, and this is x axis and this is y axis. The coordinates of this point is equal to 2, right? And coordinates of this point is equal to 1, right? Okay. Now, the conducting triangular loop as shown in figure carries a current about 10 ampere, right? We want to find out the magnetic field intensity at our desired point, that is equal to 0, 0, 5 due to the line current of side 1, due to a line current of side 1, right? Okay, got my points? Due to line current of side 1. Now, to solve this problem, we have to implement our magnetic field intensities formula, that is H is equals to I by 4 pi rho cos alpha 2 minus cos alpha 1 A phi. And this formula we can apply in a straight current carrying conductor. So this is a straight current carrying conductor, but we have to implement this current carrying conductor or this side into Z direction. So we have to convert a new figure. We have to draw a new figure, right? We have to draw a new figure for the side 1 of the loop, and then we implement our formula, that is H is equals to I by 4 pi rho cos alpha 2 minus cos alpha 1. Now to implement this equation, magnetic field intensities equation from Weierstrass law, first we have to figure out alpha 1, alpha 2, rho and A phi. Okay. These are the four different parameters for calculating this magnetic field intensity, right? Okay, so alpha 1, alpha 2, rho and A phi. So our desired point of the loop is equal to 0, 0, 5. So this point is our desired point. That means our desired point is situated at the Z direction whose vector location is 0, 0, 5. Right? Now, what is the alpha 1 and what is the alpha 2? Alpha 1 is the angle between desired point of 0, 0, 5 with the beginning point of the current. Right? Just you look at this figure. Look at this figure. The angle between the desired point and the point of starting point of the current, that's given the with respect to Z axis, that's given alpha 1. And ending point of the current and the desired point, which is given the alpha 2. So we have to draw in this term. So if we take this side number 1. So side number 1 is represent with respect to 0 and 2. Within the 0 and 2 coordinate, side number 1 represent, and from this side there is a current flow which is value is 10 ampere. So we have to connect the desired point and the starting point of the flow of the current, and we connect desired point and the ending point of the flow of the current. So desired point is 5, starting point of the current is represent this O point, and ending point of this current is represented by this 2 point. So we have to connect 5 to O and 5 to 2, right? Okay, and the angle between this side, this alpha 1 is a right angle, that is 90 degrees, right? And alpha 2 is equal to alpha 2 we have to calculate. Now, what is rho? Okay, what is rho? Rho is the value of starting point and the desired point. It is the distance of starting point and the desired point. So, in this figure, the rho is equal to, that is our starting point and that is our desired point. So, this value is represented by rho, right? Now, if this is represented by rho, the direction is arrow, right? And if this represent is x, the direction is ax, right? So we have figured out alpha 1. What is alpha 1? How you calculate it? What is alpha 2? How you calculate it? What is rho? How you calculate it? And last one is the unit vector a phi, right? Now, if alpha 1 is equals to 90 degree, then cos alpha 1 is equals to 0, right? Cos alpha 1, that is cos 90 is equals to 0. And alpha 2, that means you have to calculate the alpha 2, cos alpha 2. Now, if you take this triangle, okay, the value of perpendicular is 5. The value of base is equals to 2. So the value of hypotenuse is equals to root under 5a square plus 2 square. So value of the hypotenuse is equals to root 29. So if you take cos alpha, then it will be base by hypotenuse, that is 2 by root 29. That's why cos alpha 2 is equals to 2 by root 29. And the value of rho is already calculated, that is 5. Right? Okay. So this is the figure out of alpha 1, alpha 2 and rho. Okay. Now we calculate the unit vector a phi. Right? Unit vector a phi. Now, according to cross product, we know that a phi is equals to arrow into aj, according to cross product of the unit vector in the cylindrical coordinate system. Now, arrow and arrow into aj. Now, this direction is our desired direction, that is called ax. And arrow direction is similar to az. That means arrow direction is equal to az direction and our desired direction is ax. So arrow is equals to az and our desired direction is ax. So this cross product we can replace by ax into az. Now again, if we convert it in the cross product of unit vector, okay, so ax cross az is equals to minus of ay according to the cross product. So the direction of this equation is equals to that means a phi is equals to according to minus ay direction, right? Now we implement our expression, our equation of the magnetic field intensity, that is H is equals to I by 4 pi rho cos alpha 2 minus cos alpha 1 a phi, right? So the value of I is equals to 10 ampere, just we put down here. Value of rho is equals to 5, right? Value of cos alpha 2 is equals to 2 by root 29, and value of cos alpha 1 is equal to 0, and value of a phi is equals to minus of a y. So if we put the value and then calculate it, our value of this magnetic field intensity is approximately 5.9 minus 59.1 AY milliampere per meter. Right? So that is the way how you calculate for a magnetic field intensity due to a straight current carrying conductor if you consider the section A, section 1. Okay, so this is one of the implementation of this Weierstrass law. Okay, got my points? বলো বোঝা গেছে? I will upload my notes in Google Classroom. Okay, collect my notes from Google Classroom. Put your attendance in the chat box. Roll number 3, roll number 11.